So now we have the public hearing. So we will first have a reading of the amended policies G10, staff hiring, J4, anti-bullying, A7, transgender and non-binary policy. Plus we have the reading of new policies for their first reading, which is C2, school improvement teams, and F5, pesticide management. I would just ask for those to be read into the record. And now we have public comment for any of those policies. If anyone would like to come up to the microphone, you would have 3 minutes to speak. And please just state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, school committee members. As a school board member myself in Providence, an officer at the Rhode Island Association of School Committee members as well.
I'm sorry, name and address, please.
Oh, my name is Tony Aiken.
And the address?
86 Metcalf Street in Providence, Rhode Island. As a school board member myself and an officer at Rhode Island Association of School Committees and a newly elected member of the American Indian and Native Alaskan Council, I came here before you this evening to express my deep concerns about your deviation from the RIDE guidelines in your policy of reviewing the transgender and non-binary students. My niece is a newly resident of this wonderful town, and her partner is non-binary, and they plan on extending their family soon. It is crucial that we create a safe and inclusive environment for all students, regardless of their gender identity and their expression. I am also a member of the LGBTQ community, and I knew this at a very young age. In high school, my date was my girlfriend, and there was no issues at all with my classmates, and that was 40 years ago. The RIDE guidelines, there has been no recent incidents reported. And we must proactively address any potential negative impact on the transgender and LGBT community and our students. All students deserve a safe place to learn and grow and feel a sense of belonging. I lost my own nephew to suicide at the tender age of 18, right after he graduated from high school in 2007. So I understand the importance of supporting students struggling with their identity as he was. And I'd like to remind everybody that this is Rhode Island, where Roger Williams founded the freedom of expression, and is a primary reason why I settled here almost 20 years ago with my wife, who is a native Rhode Islander. As public officials, it's our duty to protect the rights of all public school students. And the Safe School Act enacted in 2017 ensures that all students are safe from discrimination, harassment based on sexual identity and gender identity. Although,
I'm sorry, you're out of time. You can speak again at the next public
yes,
comment. If you'd like to finish your comments then.
Thank you, honorable school board members. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone like to speak at this time? Please come up to the podium. And just state your name and address for the record, please.
Robert Caradillo, Westerly, Rhode Island. I'm here this evening as part of my statewide mission to speak at school committee meetings in all 36 districts in Rhode Island to inform you and everyone here and those watching at home that no district is obligated to comply with RIDE's misleading and untruthful transgender guidance policy or the hijacking of Title IX. This is excellent timing as I'll begin my remarks during this public hearing and conclude them during the comments to the public, which immediately follows. RIDE guidance is not law. This committee already knows this, yet it continues to support and now reinforce a policy which discriminates against 99% of Cumberland's school population. Under this guidance, boys identifying as girls are allowed to utilize the same bathrooms and locker rooms as girls, compete against girls athletically, and room with girls on overnight field trips. Teachers are compelled to utilize pronouns as per the student's sexual identity, and there is no mandate in the school that the school inform parents should their child decide to socially transition at school. This must change, and it's beginning to, but not here. You double down on some already harmful and discriminatory aspects of the former policy with this new one. You make no bones about your willingness to hide the student's preferred name and pronoun from parents, allowing them to secretly socially transition at school while continuing to compel teachers to use the student's preferred name and pronoun. This will get you sued, and I will get to that. You also made it clear that if the 99% of the students who aren't confused with their sexual identity don't like the restroom, locker room, changing facilities policy, they can find another alternative. Besides this being unfair, unsafe, and unlawful, it's also flat out wrong and will also get you sued. Less than 2 weeks ago, the American College of Pediatricians issued a statement calling on all other major medical associations to, and I quote, immediately end promotion of social affirmation, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries for children and adolescents who experience distress over their biological sex. You can see the full statement and video at acpeds.org. Numerous other countries have already stopped these barbaric practices. A simple solution to the bathroom locker room issue is to enact a policy that any student who is uncomfortable using the facilities of his or her biological birth may use a private, one-person occupancy facility. No distinction should be made for students who are confused with their sexual identities. If need be, convert present lavatories and changing areas to private rooms. Problem solved. Every district has bullying policies.
I'm sorry, sir,
All
I
kids.
just cut you off there.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'll come back for the next segment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Would anyone like to speak, please? Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My name is Isabelle, and I'm from East Greenwich. I am here not just in support of RIDE's Guidance for Rhode Island Schools on Transgender and Gender Nonconforming Students Initiative, but more importantly, trans students, not just in Cumberland, but across Rhode Island. It should not have to be said, but trans kids are worthy of protection, and it is crucial that they receive it. It is important that schools provide a safe haven for trans students, many who sadly cannot find that safety and acceptance at home. Trans people and their presence are vital to all communities, and we cannot take for granted the light, beauty, and insight that they bring to them, and have throughout history for hundreds and hundreds of years. My support for the trans community will never waver, especially as someone with trans friends and family, those who have brought so much joy into my life. It is our responsibility to keep trans kids safe and create environments in which they are welcome and at home, where they feel welcome and at home, not ones where they feel alienated. Inclusion is not exclusion. Trans people are not a threat. People who think they are more of a threat than they are. Being certain in your sexual and gender identity is not confusion. Gender affirmation care saves lives, and everyone uses pronouns. Thank you. Happy Pride Month.
So now, we do have the general comments from the public, and this could be on anything other than just the policy that were read into the record. So if anyone would like to finish their comments or offer new comments, please step to the podium.
Your Title IX policy is inaccurate and parrots the current administration's hijacking of this law. Title IX, which was adopted in 1972, as many of you know, was written to protect women from discrimination based on sex, not men identifying as women. It is not the same thing. Nowhere within Title IX is gender identity ever mentioned. Not only to the Biden administration's illegal rewrite and hijacking of Title IX, as well as RIDE's current guidance not prevent discrimination on the basis of sex, they mandate it. Boys do not belong competing with girls athletically. It is both unfair and unsafe for our girls. Both of these policies put our young people, especially our girls, in uncomfortable and unsafe situations. I hope Cumberland parents will not accept this. I certainly do not, and I will fight this with everything I have for as long as it takes. 20 states are currently suing the Biden administration over Title IX, 10 successfully thus far, citing the exact reasons I mentioned earlier. Many, if not all of the remaining 10 will also win. Others will join. Those that don't, as well as districts that don't, will be sued by their own residents and families. Your choice. And every single one of those families with kids affected by your trans and Title IX policies will have standing in court. Your solicitor knows this. One cannot legally seek to protect a segment of the population while simultaneously discriminating against the other 99% of that population. The Westerly School Committee's new policy, when completed, will right the wrongs I mentioned earlier. Your new policy must do the same. This one doesn't. You'll need to rewrite it again. To be clear, no matter how much a boy wants to be a girl, act like a girl, dress like a girl, he will never be a girl. Never. Same with girls identifying as boys. This is not an indictment of these kids. It is fact. Following Westerly's lead and writing your own policy would make certain that Cumberland's kids get the safety and privacy they all need and deserve. Get this on another agenda within 30 days and draft a new policy. I promise you, we will hold this committee and this district leadership accountable. God bless the families of Cumberland and the children of Cumberland, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you for your time.
Would anyone like to speak, please? Please state your name and address.
Juna Rebus, 14 Root Street. I'm here today, even though I haven't been to one of these in like 20 years, because I have seen what public school has done to my children, and I agree with everything that Bob Caradio has said, and I've been to other meetings besides this one that he's spoken at. It infringes on my right to be a mom, to be told other things, and to see, and the transparency of knowing what my children are learning is, I haven't seen a student handbook in ages. I've always asked my kids for them, but I haven't seen one. What other things? My kids, sometimes when they talk amongst themselves, they say things that are shocking to me, that I have no idea where they got the terminologies from, and I can only assume that they got it from here. All right? Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Just for an FYI, the handbooks are all available on the school department website. Would anyone else like to speak? Seeing no one, we are going to move on.